Today I'm going to read to you from my latest book, which is called The Puzzle Ring. It's about an Australian girl called Hannah. She's 13 years old, and one day she discovers that her family was cursed a long, long time ago. She and her mother travel back to their castle in Scotland to try and find out about the curse and break it, or at least Hannah wants to. Her mother doesn't believe in the curse. And all sorts of strange and uncanny things start happening. Now the passage I'm going to read from you today is about a third of the way through the book, and it occurs on Halloween. And it's the night when Hannah first realised that perhaps all the strange clues that she has got about there being something strange and uncanny in this house actually begin to come true. They came to the witch's pool, black as ink under the yew tree, and everyone grew silent. The trees bent and swayed in a cold wind, and only the blackthorn tree that crowned the high hill was still irradiated with the last blood-red streaks of light. Out of the corner of her eye, Hannah saw shadows leaning over them, and thought she could feel eyes watching them from the darkness. She remembered what Lynette had said. "It's an evil place now, that green hill. You mustn't go there, my chick, not on your own, not at noon or midnight, or dawn or dusk, and definitely not on any of the thin days." Halloween was a thin day. Hannah pressed closer to her mother, who slung her arm about her shoulders protectively. Miss Underhill sat on one of the yew tree's thick contorted roots, holding the moon lantern under her chin so it shone upwards onto her face, blue and hollowed, with strange glittering eyes. She began to tell the story of the witch who was burnt to death here, and whose ghost was thought to haunt the clearing. Hannah looked at the black water and shivered. "It's much too cold to be out here listening to all this rubbish," said Roz, Hannah's mother. She got to her feet, drawing Hannah with her, and gave Miss Underhill a hostile glance. "Come on, let's get home." Hannah waved to her friends, who looked up at her in surprise, and then she walked away through the night-haunted trees. Her mother walked beside her, hands shoved into her pockets. "You mustn't listen to these old stories," she said gruffly. "There's no ghost here at Winterslow, and no curse either." Hannah knew that her mother was wrong. Magic existed, both benevolent and baneful, and she was stalked by the shadow of a centuries-old tragedy. She didn't say anything, though. She just slipped her hand through her mother's arm and walked home with her in silence. That night the wind moaned around the tower, rattling the bare branches of the wych elm and banging a loose shutter somewhere. Hannah lay and listened. She was sure she could hear high, eerie cries and the beat of wings and the drum of hooves. "It's only geese flying over," she told herself. But her scalp was crawling and her skin was raised in goosebumps. There was a tight knot of fear in her stomach. "Courage," she told herself, and she groped under her pillow for her hagstone. She got out of bed and padded across to the east window, pressing her nose against the glass and looking towards Fair No Hill. All she could see was racing clouds and tossing branches, till she lifted the hagstone to her eye. Hannah screamed. Across the sky galloped a horde of strange beasts, ridden by tall beings with flashing eyes and streaming hair and whips of lightning, all speed and cruelty and darkness. And on Hannah's window-sill crouched the winged gargoyle with its horns, its wicked face turning to glare at her, with eyes burning red as ambers. And that's the end. Thank you very much.